Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizky Wulandinarsa from 4F class. Now I'm gonna make a video about imitating an American native speaker. Israel versus Palestine. And I know that I'm saying that sentence means I'm losing followers on social media. That's how continuous this topic is. Before you even finish the sentence, people are like, "You idiot, how dare you? Shut the hell up." But guys, we have to talk about it because this is one of the most difficult story that has existed in our lifetime. I mean, there are a lot of fights that seem like they will never come to an end. India versus Pakistan, China versus Tibet, white people versus Rim, but Israel versus Palestine is the 73 years old beef that has stumped everybody. I mean, when it stumped there, you know that this thing was difficult. But the paradox is that because Israel and Palestine has been ongoing for so long, people forget that it's ongoing until there are flare-ups that in the world cannot ignore, which is what happened again in this week. Yes, in this week. The conflicts escalate again, and now dozens of people are dead, including children. And look, man, what makes Israel Palestine such a difficult topic to even broach is all the layer packed under it. No matter how much you try to break it down, people will say you're leaving about some crucial piece of context, and they're probably right. I mean, there's the history of Israel became a state after Nazi Germany tried to destroy Jewish people, but there's also the history of the British taking the land from the Palestinians. Not to mention that every other country in the region has its own issues, and region has its own issue and its own agendas. And on top all of that, there's a religion involved. And religion has never calmed any situation where there are a class. What makes it even harder is the fact that who's right and who's wrong always seem to change depending on when you start measuring from each week. Was the perfect example of it. You start from Israel fire rocket into Gaza. Then Israel is the bad guy because they are bombing Gaza. But then you take a step back in time, you go, well, but Hamas is fire rocket at Israel. Then Hamas is a bad guy. But then you take a step back and you go, but the Israel police when it and start beating people up in a mosque during Ramadan, the most holy time in the Muslim calendar. Well, then Israel is the bad guy. But then you go, well, the Palestinians were throwing rock. Well, the Israel were kicking people out of their homes. Well, the Intifada, well, Israel kept taking more and more land. Well, the Arab invasion, and back and back and back. And who knows how far. The first statement who hit each other with clubs were probably Israel and Palestinian, and I don't know. And look, I don't want to have that argument, and I don't want to have the argument and the noise that goes back and forth in this thing, because honestly, I don't think any TV show in 10 minutes is going to solve Israel Palestine. 10 minutes isn't even enough time to explain the mortal conflict. So I'm not even trying to come in and do that. The part where we say who's good and who's bad or who started, let's step away from that. Instead, let's ask a different question. Instead, let's look at who's dead and who's alive this week. In Gaza, Israel airstrike have report killed 28 people, including 10 children, over 150 people have been wounded. In Israel, Hamas rockets have killed 2 people, and this exchange of fire came after the Israel assault in around the Al-Aqsa Mosque that left more than 600 Palestinian protesters whisper and civilian wound, and a few thousand Israel police. Now, personally, I'm not saying for you. Just personally, I cannot watch that footage and hear this number and see a fair fight. Set aside motive and intention, and just look at technology. Technology alone, Israel has one of the most powerful militaries in the world. They can crush Gaza like TA. Not to mention one of the most advanced defense system. You shoot a rocket at them, it's probably not going to do anything to them because of that defense system, right? They've got a giant mountain bow in the sky, just knocking them down, and I know this is continuous, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but I just want to ask an honest question here. If you are in a fight where the other person cannot meet you, how much should you relate when they try to hurt you? It's an honest question. I ask, I ask this question because I think of it like this. When I was a teenager, I would always get into fights with my little brothers and little kids. They can be vicious. They're trying to punch you in the legs. They're trying to punch you in the neck. They do that. But my mom would say to me, Wulan, don't hit the back. Don't hit the kid back because they can hurt you. And I was like, yeah, but the kid is hitting me, he could hurt me. But my mom said, yes, but you're also so much bigger than the kids, you can crush him in an instant. And please, don't get me wrong, because I know someone will watch this and you're comparing Palestinian with children. I'm not doing that. I'm telling a story about myself honestly. What my mom made me understand is, as the person who has immensely more power, I had to ask myself whether my response to this child was just or necessary. Could I find a different way to deal with this? Whether I felt grieved or not, or whether they were fighting fair, were almost irrelevant. Was I even able to ask myself the question about why they were doing what they were doing? Was I willing to admit guilt? This is all part of the question I had to ask myself. But the main question I asked in this situation is about power. Again, I know it's not a great analogy because I'm not saying Palestinians are children. I'm not saying they are children. I'm not saying they are harmless or irrational or acting out. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not. I'm talking about the difference in power, which is something we do all the time. Think about policing. If a man has a knife, should the cops shoot him? In many parts around the world, like in the UK, they say, we're going to do everything to try and not to shoot the person even at the risk ourselves. Because at the end of the day, they brought a knife to a gunfight. So, what's the right response? Everyone has a different answer to the question, and I'm not trying to answer the question, nor do I think I'm smart enough to solve it. All I want to ask is, when you have this much power, what is your responsibility? Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.